Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack making backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the vital speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby May. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
Come on, man. Come on. No. Listen, check this out. I get it. Some shit is unforgivable. I talk about it, I rap about it, so I understand. I ain't a hypocrite like that, so I get that. But at the same time, we at the point where we got so much energy for each other. We got so much energy and aggression towards each other that we can't even have babies outside at a fucking cookout, at a barbecue. Like, this is Bed-Stuy. Niggas is shooting. Niggas don't have no discretion at all to where babies is dying. Like, 1-year-old babies, nigga. 1-year-old babies. Like, that ain't never was cool. Mistakes is happening because we don't have the discernment or the discretion, know when and where to do shit. Nah, this ain't cool. Ain't none of that cool.
A wave of gang violence for criminal control of public housing complexes in Bedford-Stuyvesant and Crown Heights. What's known in gang parlance as spinning.
Shooting for the sake of showing dominance of one gang over another gang is endangering the lives of New Yorkers. We see children are being shot. We saw an innocent storekeeper almost lose their life.
More than a dozen members, alleged members of a violent Brooklyn-based street gang, have been indicted on murder and weapons charges. Prosecutors say the crimes include the shooting of a toddler last summer. As CBS 2's Alice Gaynor reports, police say these are the highest-ranking and most violent members of this gang.
The Brooklyn DA showed numerous videos of the shootings allegedly committed at the hands of members of the Hoolies gang. This is the July 2020 shooting that killed a 1-year-old.
Devell Gardner Jr., who was only 22 months old, sitting in his stroller when he was shot and killed, too small, too young to survive his injuries. 2 gunmen shooting indiscriminately towards a park where people were having a barbecue. 4
people in total were shot, including Devell Gardner. This is his godfather.
His life was taken short. He was a happy baby, never gave problems.
24-year-old Akeem Artis and 25-year-old Deshaun Austin were the alleged shooter and driver. 18 members of the Hoolies gang, ranging in age from 19 to 33, are named in the 63-count indictment that includes 4 homicides and 8 non-fatal shootings. The NYPD says there are under 100 members in this Bed-Stuy-based gang.
Kind of taken off the top layer of the gang.
The individuals that are the true trigger pullers, the shot callers, and the individuals that really founded the Hoolies.
Investigators say gang members operated by using a 3-car caravan, a blocker to block a police cruiser, a chaser to speed off to make police chase that car, and a third containing the shooters. They also used an encrypted instant messaging system with coded language. The Brooklyn DA says this takedown is the second part of a larger investigation. Back in January, 19 members of the 900 gang were indicted, Hoolies' rival. They believe this will eliminate back-and-forth shootings.
Historically, as soon as these trigger pullers, these violent offenders are taken down, the violence subsides in that area.
The NYPD plans to engage local clergy and community groups to help try and show younger members alternatives to gang life. At the Brooklyn DA's office, Alice Gaynor, CBS 2 News.
One defendant who was indicted, 27-year-old Rasheen Parnell, has not been apprehended. Most of the suspects face 25 years to life in prison.
It all comes as violent crime is rising in New York. The NYPD's commissioner believes that it's being driven by a relatively small number of gang members. These arrests are part of the strategy to target them and get them off the streets. Some of the suspects are as young as 16. Investigators seized cell phones, used court-ordered wiretaps, surveillance video, and DNA.
These individuals lived in our Brooklyn neighborhoods. These are the same individuals that showed no remorse as they relentlessly fired guns are now behind bars.
Yo, we back. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb ties. We on our way to NYC with it. Brooklyn, headshot city. Everybody from Brooklyn, y'all get in the comment box, but definitely we need Bad Star to check in on this one. So today we're going to be covering the Hoolies gang, who according to the NYPD and the New York Post, they're going to say they were allegedly involved in 4 murders and left 9 other people wounded while unleashing mayhem across the Bedford-Stuyvesant section of Brooklyn amid a deadly turf war with their rivals, who were rounded up in a similar indictment last year. Now, the indictment would net 18 gang members and not only solve the infamous slaying of 1-year-old DeVale Gardner, it nailed others responsible in multiple murders and a slew of other shootings across the city. Now, a lot of people going to wonder what was the purpose of the Mano video or why I played the video of Mano. It's because I stand on and believe exactly what he was saying, 5,000%. Now, the game has shifted a lot. We talked about this often with certain cases that we covered before. The most recent one I could think is going to be the Pierre Stokes episode, where his 9-year-old son, Tyshawn Lee, was killed, if y'all remember that tragic incident. And one of the questions I asked was, who's off limits? Are people letting ops get passes these days? And based on what I determined, not only are people not letting ops get passes, meaning that you probably gonna get it no matter who you with, no matter where you are. And some people will be like, oh, it's the level of beef. And these days, each level is next level, it seems like. There's no beef that's not on that scale, especially in a lot of these big cities. And on top of that, a lot of these gang members are not going to the range. They're not practicing shooting. And not only that, they're not using good discretion as far as the chances and the likelihood, not only of if you're going to hit the victim, but are you going to get seen? Will you get caught? It's like these days, a lot of them are not thinking about that because they're on the anywhere you at is where you're going to get it. And I'm sure that got a lot of people in jail. And I can guarantee you they didn't read The Art of War. Now, with that being said, usually in a situation like this, I don't have to put my 2 cents in it because the New York Post, in an article titled Trail of Death and Destruction Allegedly Left by Members of the NYC Hoolies Gang, would go on and highlight several shooting incidents named in that 63-count indictment against the gang. And they're going to go back as far as May 15th on 2008, when they allege a member by the name of Jerry 00 Washington allegedly shot a 900 member multiple times in the back around 10 a.m. near a courtyard in the Marcy Projects. Now, and that's going to be on 626 Park Avenue. The victim will go on to survive that. Now, on December 4th, 2018, shortly after the slaying of Hoolies leader Jalil Jackboy Grant, who was 21, and the wounding of Akil Beans artist, who's 24 at the time, allegedly by a 900 member and an accomplice, various Hoolie members met in a Roosevelt House's apartment. Shout out to all the niggas from RV. And they allegedly plotted a series of revenge shootings. And the first took place at 7:22 p.m. at the intersection of Ralph and Bainbridge Street, where Rasheen Purnell, who was 27, known as Hoolie Skull or Baby Ra, allegedly shot an innocent bystander 4 times in the torso, left leg, as well as the groin, leaving the 23-year-old man paralyzed. Then on December 4th of 2018, a second retaliatory shooting took place at around 10:17 p.m. when Travis Scott, 33, also known as Loso, and Trav allegedly opened fire at Tyree Walker, who was 35, as he walked towards his home at 997 Myrtle. Now, Walker, who authorities say was not a 900 member, was hit multiple times in the torso and he died. Now, one day later, on December 5th, 2018, a third shooting that was tied to Grant slaying took place at around 12:40 a.m. when several Hoolies drove to the Kingsborough houses and fired multiple shots from a 9mm pistol near Ralph Avenue and Dean Street, hitting an innocent bystander in the chest. The 43-year-old victim would go on to survive that shooting. Now, at the turn of the year, on March 8th, 2019, several Hoolies walked into a Hoolie territory where Michael Dougie Parnell, who was 19, allegedly opened fire at a group of 900 members standing in front of the apartment building at 260 Herkimer Street, and that was around 6 p.m. Weeks later, on March 23rd, 2019, Dominic Scott, who was 28, also known as Chico or Damo, allegedly followed a man into 65 Tompkins Avenue, part of the Tompkins houses, at around 5:40 a.m. and asked if he was 900. Scott then allegedly shot the man in his arm, pistol whipped him, and stole a cell phone. The victim was not in the rival 900 gang. Now, we're going to fast forward a year later, on March 3rd, 2020. Jaquan Lane, who was 28 years old at the time, known as Bo or Boshawn, and Deshaun Austin, who was 25 at the time, known as Capo or Doodoo or Hot Wheels, took a ride up to the Kenham Lounge on 856 Atlantic Avenue at around 12:20 a.m. after Lane got a text message saying that a member of the rival Pop-Out Boys gang was there. At about 3:10 a.m., Lane and Austin allegedly followed Pop-Out Boy member Janelle Whitted to a nearby Armor Corvette at 566 Nostrand Avenue, where Austin was said to make his way through a crowd and allegedly fire several shots into Whitted's chest, leaving him fatally wounded. Days later, on March 9th, 2020, several Hoolies traveled in a white Mercedes-Benz to the Raymond Bush Playground at 457 Madison Avenue, where a memorial was being held for Whitted. Once there, he got out and opened fire at mourners with a 9mm pistol. A month later, on April 4th, 2020, Unique Trilla Newell, 21 years old, leaned out the window of a white Mercedes-Benz driven by Jonathan Arroyo, 29 at the time, known as Janito or J.O., and opened fire at a person riding on a scooter across from 231 Troop Avenue, part of the Sumner houses, at about 6:11 p.m. The intended target was shot in the chest but survived. Now, on June 24th, 2020, I Kill Artist, who was wounded in a shooting that killed the alleged member of the gang back in 2018, allegedly repeatedly fired a pistol at a black sedan that had driven past him near 69 Stuyvesant Avenue in Hoolie territory at around 9:50 p.m. Then fast forward to June 25th, 2020, a Hoolies member identified only as RM drove a Chrysler Pacifica alongside a teal-colored sedan near the brownstone at 579 Monroe Street at around 5:03 p.m., at which point someone inside the Pacifica fired a pistol towards the sedan and a group of people nearby. Now, lastly, we're going to fast forward 1 month to the shooting that arguably was the one that got the gang indicted. Now, a 3-car caravan of a Mercedes-Benz, an Audi, and a Volkswagen Jetta lined up in front of the apartment building on 365 Pulaski Street, where cops spotted the activity and activated the lights on the patrol car around 11:15 p.m. The Jetta sped off, luring away the cops, after which the Mercedes-Benz and the Audi turned onto Madison Street near a park where a cookout was underway. The 2 cars circled the block and returned moments later, when Austin and a second unidentified shooter allegedly got out of the Audi and opened fire on a group of people attending the cookout. Now, 4 innocent bystanders was hit in that specific shooting, including 1-year-old DeVell Gardner, who later died The 3 others were going to survive. But that shooting would cause ripple effects and would bring down the long and strong arms of the law on the Hoolies gang, and it will result in that 62 count indictment with those 18 members being arrested. Now, not to say that that ended the gang, but I'm definitely going to say it crippled them. But I'm sure it's still going on. Anybody active in that area, and this is predominantly in Bed-Stuy and in Crown Heights. And the crazy thing is, I can't even tell you how everything exactly popped off or what started this war, but it will result in the death of DeVell Gardner. So we want to send our well wishes to him, his family. That's a crazy loss. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I wholeheartedly agree with Mano. Almost you drove around the block 2 times. You opening fire on somebody at a cookout. Like, it's wild. It's just a new era and the next level of the game. I want y'all to get in the comment box. Let me know what y'all think about that. Is this smash on sight? SOS on all ops? Or are you giving passes if they with their grandma, if they coming out of church, or all of that? I definitely like to see what y'all had to say about this in the comment box. Y'all make sure y'all hit the bell right into this video so y'all know when this real trill spill shit is dropping. Y'all follow me on Insta, on Twitter, POP_A_LOT. Y'all direct message me, email me, CC me, text me. However y'all want to do it. I'm here for all of it. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb, Ties.